Alright, this was my comparison rust test on galvanized metal, which is pretty tough to start to see rust formations. These little coupons of metal were put on magnetic strips and put underneath my van throughout the winter here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I didn't hose down the vehicle as often as I wanted to. Also, the ones that don't have a magnet on them, they were put in a salt bath and occasionally washed once a month. So I rinsed them out and put them back into the salt bath. So what we're looking at here, these samples here, we're using the fluid film. It's an excellent product. It's got a very good reputation. We're going to talk about that. And I use the Amsoil Metal Protector Heavy Duty. It's a protects against corrosion and resists dirt, but it also forms a durable film, and we're going to show you that. And then these are the neutral ones, and I noticed these being exposed to the salt, they're a lot weaker. You can bend them so much easier with your fingers compared to the other ones, so they lost a lot of their own metal in the process. So first I want to talk about the fluid film, and what I can tell you is it actually did a really good job. The ones that were in the salt didn't fare too well, but the big difference between this and the Amsoil product is this one washes off easily, but as long as the product is on there and it's not seeing much abrasion, it actually held up pretty good. You can see there's very minimal rust on there. But here's the only problem that I see with it, is if you were to handle this, the material does come off on your hand. So it doesn't stay put. It doesn't resist, well, first of all, it doesn't resist dirt. That's dirt from the underbody of the car. And it doesn't form a strong hold of a protective film. So after I actually washed this one in soap and water, now I imagine it would start to rust because it came off. You can feel the metal now. There's no longer that film. So it's kind of a gooey substance that stays that way. It doesn't actually harden. But as far as most applications, I'm going to say it's all right, and it does work as a lubricant, on cables and such. So it does stay pliable. It doesn't harden. Now, if we look at the Amsoil product, this is one that I actually washed with detergent, and you can see the film stays on there. The only way the film comes off is if you scrape it with a fingernail or something like that. But washed in normal abrasion, it stayed on, and it looks pretty darn good too. Let's give you another one here. This one, just like the fluid film one, I did not wash, and it did a pretty good job at not attracting dirt. So for the first time, you're going to see me rub something on it here, and as you see, it actually holds up. It's dry to the touch. There's no gel or any type of loose material. Let's look underneath the magnet here. The product held up just as advertised. So there's no visible rust, and it doesn't wash off very easily. This is one of the ones that were soaked in that salt bath, and looking at it here in the light, the only thing I could say about this is these weren't prepared. They weren't washed first, so I could assume that where we see the rust forming, that's where the MP didn't adhere. But it obviously did adhere on other parts, so that would be the common denominator, would be dirt on the surface in the first place. Just like this piece here. You can see where it was handled on the end. Well, that's where the rust formed. But the rest of it, no issues at all on that one. And then this is another one that was underneath the vehicle. Or, I'm sorry, this is the one that wasn't touched. Yeah, that one I did wash. Here's another one, untouched, from underneath the vehicle. But again, there's just no evidence of corrosion. Let's look at the back side. Yeah, there you go. You can see where the magnet was, and it's perfect. Otherwise, you can see a line where there's dirt. Let me lay this camera down and wipe on that here. There we go. So I got the dirt off completely, and you can still see that the film is still there, and it is dry to the touch. It's completely dry to the touch. So if we go back to the fluid film product, where this dirt is, it does come off quite easily. See there? Completely. But then you can actually feel the film of the fluid film still on there. So it's not a film that dries. So that's the summary. The MP does what it's supposed to do. I believe the fluid film also does what it's supposed to do, but when it comes to abrasion and if something were to wipe that down, it would not stay put. So that's the only issue I had with that product. And of course, this was underneath the car, not sprayed by anything. So all you see, if you can't see it in the camera, is a haze across all the galvanized surfaces, and then in other areas the rust has started to oxidize in several places. So I want to do another one of these with iron probably next time. There's another one right there that you can see where the magnet protected the metal, and then these were ones that were soaking in the bath right here, and if you bend it you can actually watch the salt pop off of there in some places, and a fresh surface appears. But yeah, it's pretty well corroded, and I tried scrubbing some of that stuff off on this one here. I washed this one here, and yeah, it's pretty much done. It's almost as weak as aluminum foil compared to the other pieces are. So yeah, that's just a real quick overview of those three surfaces, and well, I hope you got something out of it. Maybe gives you an idea to try these on tools, metal that's laying around you don't want to rust, underbody parts. Where I really suggest using the Amsoil metal protector is on front end parts, especially bolts like ball joints and things like that, that one day you're going to have to get back in there and do some repairs. Last thing you need is, especially in the northern climate, nuts and bolts being stuck, and in these harsh conditions, this obviously will protect those bolts and make them easily freed up if you have to do any work. So anyway, that's my comparison there. Thanks again for watching.